I do not have a good bear story. I should have one. I was out in places where there's bears and cougars and things. And bears. It sounded like Brick from Anchorman. Bears. It's a terrible reference. So.
Then why did you bring this thing that kills into our home?
But I should have a good story. I should have one, but I don't. See, I used to go tree planting every summer. Kind of paid my way for university. I was going to University of Saskatchewan, out of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada.
Why wouldn't he speak English?
And I basically paid my way through college by every summer driving out to BC. I live now in BC, but I didn't used to live there. So drive out here, and that was my job. And it was piecework, so you get paid per tree. So you go. But everybody had bear stories. Like, and these guys, other people that I planted with had like serious bear stories. Like the bear, he ripped the door off of the car. He just ripped it right off. I was like, what? And, a bear, he finally charged me, and lucky I had my shotgun. And so I had to put him down. Didn't want to do it, but he was coming towards me. These are the kind of stories I heard. And of course, I don't want to be in danger. Don't want my door getting ripped off or having to shoot a bear charging me. I did want a good story. You know what I mean? And here's the thing. I had lots of near misses. Like I should have had good stories, but they didn't turn out to be good stories at all. Like, for example, there was one time where we were all planting up at this place. I can't remember where it was.
You don't remember anything, do you?
And I bagged out. Bagged out means I had a bunch of trees and ran out of trees. The trees in my bags bagged out. I had no more trees. So I was coming down the ridge, and down on the landing where all the other every single planter was there by the trucks. They all had left the block, the tree planting block, and congregated on the landing. And I was like, what are you guys doing as I walked up? And they were like, oh, there's a bear. Didn't you see the bear? He was right where you were planting. We all fled here. How did you not see him? So I guess where I'd gone up and then cut across, I definitely should have ran into this bear. And I just didn't see him. I don't know. He could have been right beside me. He saw me working, and he was like, well, he seems busy. I don't want to. Although it raised other questions, like, hey, if it was so dangerous up there for me, why didn't nobody say anything?
Your friends, they don't care about you.
Another story, it happened actually while we were planting, but back at the camp where we all stayed in tents for the summer, basically. And this bear had basically gone through all these tents and was just like ripping them open. It was like a snack pack for him, right? Just, what's in here? And anybody who left food in their tents, that's why you don't leave food in your tent. The bear just went in there and he ate it. Now, I didn't leave any food in my tent, so he left my tent. Everybody's tent around me is all destroyed. Everybody's like, can we sleep with you? I was like, no, it's not a 14-man tent.
Where's your compassion?
Oh, by the way, one guy had a can of bear mace, and the bear had ripped through and then bit holes in it. Like he was like, and then like I don't know if he drank the bear mace. I don't know if this stuff is as good as we think it is. I think it's just like spicy. Like it's just like, I hate the spicy stuff, right? Because this bear was like, no, I like a little bit of snap, a little bit of something to my meal. So I'll have some of that bear mace. So just be careful if you're using bear mace. Make sure the bear does not like spicy food. I don't know.
That's not funny.
The experts might disagree, but I'm just giving you firsthand knowledge of the situation. Another one. So we had caches. It was called a cache, where you kept your trees, and you basically put this white thing over top of them, and the inside of it was silver, like, these heat blanket things.
It's science.
And that kept it cool inside, so your trees were kept cool during the day, and you also stuck your lunch and everything else you wanted in there so that it wouldn't get rained on or whatever. And there was this road, and this bear basically went each side of the road, because we were planting off different parts of the road, and he basically just hit up every single lunch along the way, and then skipped past mine.
Lunch? Yeah.
my lunch.
And was I the only guy that didn't have, like, am I gonna get a bear story? I got nothing. Like, they were just always finding ways. These bears, it's a conspiracy. These bears got together and they're like, let's not give him anything. We know he's just gonna be running his mouth. So let's not give him a thing to talk about.
Have trouble with bears, did you?
Well, I'm still talking about it, bears. So hey, who got the last laugh now? You dumb bears. That's so stupid. I'm sorry. I don't know. I did finally get a story out tree planting. I was planting near Merritt, British Columbia, and I was on. It was just me and this other guy planting. His name was Ian Gray, the fastest planter in the world. He was the GOAT. Like, if Michael Jordan or LeBron James is the GOAT in basketball, it's Michael Jordan.
Yes, it is.
Ian Gray is the GOAT of tree planting. So fast, so good. I was like his Scottie Pippen, you know, kind of gangly, kind of a bad attitude towards the owner. I was his Scottie Pippen. I just finished watching the Last Dance, and Scottie Pippen was so mean to not the owner, I guess. It was Jerry Krause. And so that's what I was saying. I'm sorry, I got off track. But so anyways, we were planting one day, and this bear actually, he was a ways off though, but he looked at us, he saw us, and then he kind of went up on his 2 feet and did a little smell. Like, he was kind of like, what's going on? And then he was like, I think that's Leland, and I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of a story. And then he just walked off. And I was like, oh, come on. I want. That's me planting. It's the shovel. And my left hand is grabbing a tree as I'm shoveling. So you just keep going.
Are you impressed yet?
No. Why should I be?
Actually, that same block where we were planting in Merritt, the coolest thing I've ever seen, it wasn't the bear we saw that summer. It was wild horses.
I love horses.
Running through. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. I never really thought about there's such a thing as wild horses. You know what I mean? I know there are, but I just never really thought about it. It's so cool. And it had this beautiful black stallion kind of running the show. Just gorgeous animal. And then the rest of them just kind of followed him behind. This little pack of, like, I don't know, 15 or something like that. I don't know. Actually, I'll be honest with you. The black stallion was beautiful. But all the other horses in that herd, do you call them a herd if they're horses? They were a little mangy looking, like like that particular pack of wild horses had been doing a little bit of inbreeding. Like, they were all just kind of like, what's going on? Where are we going?
Oh, good morning.
It's got 3 eyes and a horn. It's like, am I a horse? What am I? It wasn't that bad, but they looked a little scruffy. That's all I'm trying to tell you. So I never did get a bear story. The whole time I was tree planting, and never got a decent bear story. Now I've had a couple since. I live in BC now. My back. You
want a stroke or something?
But anyway, no, there was a bear that just jumped over into our backyard and was just kind of messing around. He was just like, whatever, and then just climbed back over and scooted out. I guess there was a time I did have now I was in between planting, but me and some of the fellows went to Hyder, Alaska. We were up near Stewart, BC. We went to Hyder, Alaska, and when we were checking out one of these rivers, we saw a cub in the... No. I'm sorry. I have so little credibility when I change the story midway through. It was... But I just had forgotten a detail. It was the mom.
I almost hate to say it, but it kind of makes sense.
We didn't know it was a mom at the time, but she was in the river fishing, right? Like out and just grabbing salmon out of it. It was really cool. We're like, oh, that's cool. And then we heard some rustling behind us. And we kind of, what's that? We turn around and there's a cub. A cub. So now we're in between the mom and the cub. So we're all like, oh no. And so we kind of we slowly moved on scooted on out of there. Bear didn't even notice. It was too busy fishing, having a great time. It was a neglectful bear mom. Luckily, the one encounter I had with a mama bear was one that was just kind of a bad bad mom. She wasn't even watching her. What are you? Whatever. I'm going to eat some fish. I guess the best encounter I've ever had with a bear was probably also the most Canadian encounter. It was Canada Day, and I went for a run. There's a mountain just outside where I live, and I was just going to run along the side. This kind of this cool path, and I just went for a run, and I have headphones in, so I'm listening to music. It's Canada Day. I don't know why I was running on this day, but all of a sudden, on the side of the road where I was running, this bear all of a sudden notices me, and I notice it at the same time. He was kind of down in the ditch, and all of a sudden he was just like, "Ah!" And just booked it, right? Like, "Ah!" And was gone. And I was like, "Ah!" And I actually said this out loud. This is why this is the most Canadian encounter ever. The bear startled and went, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you."
You stupid Canadian.
I apologized to the bear. Like the most Canadian thing. Oh, you just went for a run on Canada Day and ran into a bear? Yes, I did. And then what happened? I apologized to it for startling it. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, no, I guess we both kind of got scared there, eh? So that's all my bear encounters in one video. It just feels weird sometimes, the anticlimactic ending to a story. After I say something like that, to say, yeah, so subscribe below.
Not a chance.
And get notifications sent to you so you can hear more stories that don't end well.